But I also wanted to specifically address what you're doing with Kamala Harris. First of all, most of us do not care what her race is. You could have promoted her as just a good candidate. Okay, so what? She's the black female. Tell me something about what she's going to do for my community.
So as you've seen, I gave you all just a little tidbit of what this lady was saying about Kamala Harris. But overall, because the video was a couple minutes long, but overall, what she's saying is, okay, Kamala, you were said to be this black woman. Sure, we'll go with it. But what else? What else are you going to do? What else do you bring to the table? What are we even doing about this? So the lady in the video was saying that Kamala and her people and people who support Kamala are not going to be out here bullying black women to go and vote for her. Now, some people may say, well, vote for who you want to vote for, don't vote for who you don't want to vote for. Well, that's fine. But here's the thing. If you go and say, well, you know what, I think I'm going to be an independent, maybe I vote for third party. Then you have a whole bunch of people who come and say, oh, you're throwing away your vote. Oh, well, you shouldn't do that. Oh, if you're doing that, then that's a vote for Trump. Oh, if you're doing that, then that's not a vote for Kamala. Oh, and then it's always an argument. It's always some kind of debate. So people are like, well, you have to pick between the duopoly. You have to pick one of these two. It's like, well, I don't really want to pick. Oh, so you must love Trump. It's always like, it goes from one extreme to the next. It's like you're either for or you're not. And then like there's no in between. And that's what a lot of people tend to have. But something I thought was very interesting was right in the beginning, she was saying that most people do not care what your race is. Okay. Now people may say, well, what about Barack Obama? That was different because he was the first, even though he was mixed, he was the first black, president. So that was different. Okay. And then we also have noticed, many people have noticed, he didn't really do much. So it's like, okay, you're black or mixed, whatever, but you're not really doing anything. So how is this, you know what I mean? What does your race necessarily have to mean in regards to policies? Like, for example, you could go and look at somebody like Bernie Sanders. He's a white guy, but he's a guy that I would have voted for because I liked what he stood on. But the thing with Kamala, they're running like, oh, she's black, 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 black. Okay, fine. If you want to claim black, even though you're not, you're Indian, but fine. If you want to go and claim being black, fine. But then you need to tell me what you're going to do for black people. And that's not what happened. With Obama, it was the hope and change, but none of that even happened either. So people already got burnt before. So what's new? What are you going to do? Something else. And this goes into her next point that she said, what are you going to do for the black community and the country as a whole? So yes, black people, what are you going to do for us? Are you going to help us out? Are you going to give us some kind of hate crime bill? Are you guys going to, what are you doing? Are you going to financially help us out? What's happening? But also as a country, because we're Americans, what are we going to have? Are we going to have a minimum wage of $20, $25? Are we going to have universal health care? Are we going to have a UBI? What are we going to have? Are we going to have lower gas prices? This is what she touches on later on. Lower gas prices, lower grocery bills, car insurance, where you have like your Texas tags or your Sun passes or your iPasses, your toll roads. What are we going to do about this kind of stuff? And at the end of the day, because this is the kind of stuff that is tacking on more and more and more and more and more. All right. You can go and look at even Houston. You got Progressive that if you got like a Hyundai, depending on the year, and like a Toyota, they're like, I don't really want to insure you because your cars may get stolen. Or, oh, homeowner insurance. Y'all got a lot of floods over there and I don't really want to pay. Oh man, you guys are getting a lot of hail damage. I know I really don't want to pay for those solar panels either, but this is all a part of everything, and at the end of the day, it doesn't appear that she's addressing any of this. It doesn't appear that anyone's addressing this. And this is what is affecting your average American on a daily basis, so I thought that was very interesting. And people just keep going on. Her campaign is, I'm black, I'm black, I'm black, I'm black. I wash collard greens, which I never heard any black person ever say that they wash collard greens in the bathtub. And I heard some crazy stuff, but I've never, okay, so, I was listening to Tupac and Snoop, even though they weren't even making music at the time when you were talking about them. So that's a lie. Okay, but what does this have to do with anything? I went to the Essence Festival. Again, what does this have to do with policy? You going to Essence Festival is not lowering It's not giving me health insurance. You going to Essence Festival or listening to Biggie and Tupac and eating greens. None of this is making my gas prices go lower or my grocery bill become lower. It just isn't. You know, you got people who, like myself, aren't eating as much as they used to, not only because of weight control, but it's also because you can't afford it as much as you were able to afford it before. So how is you being Black helping with any of these other issues that's affecting people on a daily basis? And I'm talking about everybody. It doesn't help you. And then she mentioned in closing more so about the illegal immigration. She was talking about, okay, we see what happened in Aurora, Colorado. I'm seeing what's happening in Dallas, Texas, and even what is possibly happening in Chicago, Illinois. And she mentioned the different kinds of trafficking that there is and how this definitely affects Black women with all of this, okay, because we're more vulnerable. So what is it that you're going to do? And it doesn't appear it's, oh, well, when I get elected, I will. But aren't you vice president now? And that's the thing that I noticed that a lot of people tend to forget. You are vice president now. Biden wanted to run for president again and say, oh, when I get elected, I will. But why don't you do it now since you're already here? You know, so that's the issue that I've been seeing with this. And this is the overall issue with this whole thing. But let me know what you all think about said story down below.